Late one night, you scroll through your news feed and stumble across a series of stories that make your stomach turn. A self-driving car failing to detect a concrete barrier, a major e-commerce platform's AI filtering out certain ethnic groups in product ads, and a chatbot going off the rails, spouting harmful rhetoric. Each incident feels like a betrayal of the promise we once saw in artificial intelligence. Instead of ushering in a clean, efficient future, these algorithms are messing up, sometimes catastrophically, and leaving us to wonder if we've put too much trust in them. Today, we're exploring the dark side of AI, when algorithms go wrong. We'll dissect real-world failures and trace how they rattle our faith in technology. If you're as fascinated as I am by these hidden pitfalls, please consider subscribing. Your engagement helps us keep investigating how AI's shine can so quickly tarnish when things don't go as planned. It's almost second nature to think of AI as super smart, often surpassing human abilities in speed and scale. We assume it sees patterns we can't, that it's impervious to biases or lapses in judgment. Yet the truth is that AI systems are never truly objective. They're machines trained on datasets prepared, labeled, or curated by people with their own blind spots and assumptions. One famous example involves an algorithm used in recruiting that systematically favored men for technical roles. Why? Because the historical data it was fed contained a pattern. More men were hired in the past, so the machine concluded that must be the preferred norm. Without explicit guidance to avoid such biases, the algorithm simply doubled down on what it observed, rejecting qualified female applicants by default. Then there's the realm of self-driving vehicles. The dream, of course, is that autonomous cars will minimize accidents caused by human error. But as real-world trials have shown, these systems can struggle with atypical road conditions, unusual weather patterns, or unexpected obstacles, like a tractor-trailer at a strange angle on a bright day, where the AI's sensors fail to distinguish the trailer from the sky. In some cases, these oversights have led to collisions, even deaths, sparking legal battles and public outcry. People tend to assume that a Tesla or another autonomous car knows what it's doing. But the moment a glitch occurs, the illusion shatters. We're reminded that the AI is, at best, a set of code making statistical guesses about the environment. It can't literally see, think, or react like a human. And when that gap emerges in the wrong context, the results can be tragic. Or consider the chatbots and conversational AIs that pepper social media and customer service lines. Many start out benign, designed to help customers or engage users in fun discussions. But feed them enough unfiltered user data, and they can become parrots of humanity's worst impulses: racism, misogyny, conspiracy theories. One bot famously went rogue within 24 hours, firing off hateful messages because trolls discovered it would mimic anything thrown at it, effectively transforming a well-meaning experiment into an unsettling exposé of how quickly an AI can be hijacked if its creators fail to impose guardrails. This reveals a huge problem. Algorithms don't possess moral compasses. They reflect whatever patterns or behaviors they're exposed to, turning them into potential amplifiers of the most extreme content out there. Underlying all these failures is the question of transparency. AI can be notoriously opaque, often described as a black box, because not even developers can always pinpoint how it arrives at certain conclusions. You can have an algorithm that classifies images or screens loan applications, and it might be 90% accurate, but you're left scratching your head over that other 10%, the random misclassifications or discriminatory outcomes that defy immediate explanation. This opacity isn't just a technical quirk, it has real consequences. When an AI denies someone a mortgage or flags them incorrectly at an airport, that person might ask, "Why me?" But the answer might be buried so deep in the model's layers that no human can easily parse it. The result is a distressing sense that we've built a system we can't fully understand or question. As these systems become more integrated into our lives, determining credit scores, scanning resumes, managing city traffic flows, or analyzing security footage, we confront a chilling possibility. Are we ceding too much authority to machines that are, at their core, only as enlightened or ethical as the data we feed them? A biased dataset can turn an AI from a helpful tool into a gatekeeper that systematically discriminates. A glitch in a self-driving module can turn a family road trip into a nightmare. And a poorly monitored chatbot can morph from a novelty into a hate speech amplifier. The bigger the scale, the more people get hurt when something goes wrong. This leads us to wonder about accountability. When a self-driving car crashes, who's to blame? The manufacturer? The software developer? The data scientist who sourced flawed training data? It gets messy fast, especially when multiple entities share responsibility for design, testing, and deployment. Governments worldwide are wrestling with how to regulate AI, from privacy laws to ethical guidelines, but these processes can be glacially slow compared to the breakneck pace of AI research and commercialization. Each high-profile failure, be it a Tesla crash or a discriminatory algorithmic decision, adds fuel to the legislative debate, prompting calls for transparency, fairness, and safety checks. Another aspect worth mentioning is how quickly public trust can erode when such stories come to light. For every success story of AI diagnosing cancer more accurately than doctors, there's a cautionary tale of misguided metrics or catastrophic oversights. People begin to see AI not as a neutral tool, but as an unpredictable, sometimes dangerous force. If trust dips too low, adoption stalls. Meanwhile, the real benefits, like improved logistics, smarter resource allocation, or breakthroughs in medical research, might get overshadowed by these dark chapters. It's almost like we're in a race to see whether AI's potential can outstrip the damage done by its most visible failures. In many ways, the fundamental issue is that AI systems are designed to excel at narrow tasks, but we often deploy them in complex, nuanced environments. A machine that's fantastic at identifying stop signs in clear daylight might completely miss them at dusk. An algorithm that's good at reading English resumes might completely misunderstand an international CV or inadvertently favor certain universities. The moment these tasks escalate into broader contexts or evolving conditions, cracks form. A single oversight in the training phase or a misaligned incentive can balloon into a widespread fiasco once the system hits production. So where do we go from here? One approach is to insist on more robust testing that deliberately seeks out worst-case scenarios. Another is demanding interpretability, designing algorithms that can explain their decisions, or at least reveal how heavily each piece of data factored into an outcome. We might also need sector-specific regulations. Self-driving car algorithms might face safety certifications like seatbelts and airbags did in the automotive industry. Bias audits could become mandatory for algorithms used in hiring, housing, or finance. And yes, even chatbots might need ethical guidelines or curated training environments to keep them from absorbing the internet's darkest corners. Meanwhile, on the consumer side, it's crucial for all of us to remain skeptical. Just because a system wears the label AI-powered doesn't mean it's necessarily better or more objective. We can ask, what data was this trained on? How is fairness being ensured? Can it handle unusual or edge cases? If we're told, we can't reveal that, it's proprietary, or, don't worry, it just works, maybe we should worry a bit. Staying informed, asking tough questions, and pushing for accountability are ways we can make sure these technologies serve us, not the other way around. Thanks for sticking around to examine this darker side of AI. It's not exactly pleasant to think about, but it's vital if we want to navigate the future responsibly. If you found this exploration enlightening, I hope you'll subscribe for more dives into the complexities of AI and tech. Because while AI can transform industries and unlock incredible breakthroughs, it can also stumble in ways that shake our faith in what technology can do. The real challenge is figuring out how to harness AI's promise without falling victim to its pitfalls, a balancing act that might define our generation.